Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our zoology online class. Dear students, the last class we studied about one important 5-mark question. Name of the question is mechanism of breathing. Okay, so this mechanism of breathing is one of the very important 5-mark question of this chapter. Hope you all studied these question answers. Dear students, today we are going to study about more than 10 2-mark question answers. Okay, so today we are going to study about some topics, and in all these topics more than 10 2-mark questions are there. Okay, so listen very carefully, dear students. So first we are going to study about 4 important respiratory volumes. Okay, 4 important respiratory volumes. A respiratory volume meaning the volume of air present during the inspiration and expiration. Okay, so the volume of air involved during inspiration and expiration is called respiratory volume. Okay, there are 4 volumes are there. The first volume is called tidal volume. In short, we can say TV. Say TV means, or the tidal volume means, the amount of air inhaled or exhaled with normal breathing. Okay, so the amount of the total amount of air inspired or expired during the normal breathing is called tidal volume. Okay, so approximately the tidal volume is 500 ml. That means a healthy person can inhale 500 ml air, or a healthy person can exhale or expire 500 ml air. Understand all of you? Understand? So totally within 1 minute, total amount of inhaled air is, or exhaled air is, 6000 milliliter to 8000 milliliter. Okay, so the adult human person can inspire or expire approximately 600 to 800 milliliter of air per minute. Okay, hope you are understood. And this tidal volume is varying or changing during exercise and during hard work. Okay, so when we do hard works or when we do hard exercise, the tidal volume is increased 4 to 10 times. Okay, 4 to 10 times. Dear students, hope you are understood the meaning of this tidal volume. So it's a 2-mark question. Then second 2-mark question is IRV, inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume meaning, say, the additional volume of air a person can inspire during a forceful inspiration. Okay, so it's normal. It's not a normal inspiration. When a person doing forceful inspiration, some additional amount of air is entering inside the lungs. So this volume is called inspiratory reserve volume. In short, we can say IRV. Okay, so the normal IRV is 2500 ml to 3000 ml. Okay, understood? Say inspiratory reserve volume meaning during a forceful inspiration, some additional amount of air is entering inside the lungs. So this additional volume of air is called inspiratory reserve volume. Then expiratory reserve volume. In short, we can say ERV. Expiratory reserve volume meaning during a forceful expression or during forceful exhale, some additional amount of air or additional volume of air is are removed from the lungs. So this additional volume of air a person can forcefully exhale is called expiratory reserve volume. It is called expiratory reserve volume. So additional volume of air a person released from the lungs during forceful expression is called expiratory reserve volume. Understand of you? So the normal expiratory reserve volume is 1000 to 1100 ml. Hope you are understood this 2-mark question. Then next 2-mark question is residual volume. In short, RV. RV means the volume of air present inside the lungs, or volume of air remaining in the lungs after a forceful expression. Okay, so once we inhale the air, immediately we are exhaling or removing the air from the lungs. But that time also a small amount of air is present inside the lungs or remaining inside the lungs. So this volume is called residual volume. Okay, it is approximately 1100 to 1200 milliliter. Okay, hope you all understood, dear students. Dear students, now we have completed 4 2-mark questions. Tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, and residual volume. Okay, so the normal value is very important for 1-mark question. Dear students, then we are going to study about respiratory capacities. Okay, so now we completed respiratory volumes, then now we are going to study about respiratory capacities. The first capacity is called vital capacity. In short, we can say VC. See, the maximum amount of air, okay, maximum amount of air removed from the lungs during a normal breathing, during a single breathing, is called vital capacity. Okay, see, listen very carefully. Once we inhale the air, next immediately we are exhaling or removing the air. So the maximum amount of air removed from the lungs during single breathing is called vital capacity. This vital capacity can be calculated by adding ERV meaning expiratory reserve volume, TV meaning tidal volume, then IRV, inspiratory reserve volume. So when we add ERV, expiratory reserve volume, tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume, we will get vital capacity. We will get vital capacity. Okay, then second capacity is called inspiratory capacity. In short, we can say IC. The total volume of air a person can inhale after normal expression. Once we exhale or once we expel the air from the lungs, then the second step we are inhaling the air. So the total amount of or total volume of air is entering inside the lungs. Okay, so this total volume is called inspiratory capacity. The total volume of air a person can inhale after normal expression is called inspiratory capacity. Okay, it is calculated by adding TV and IRV. So when we add tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume, we will get inspiratory capacity. Okay, dear students, hope you all understood this second capacity. Then the third capacity is expiratory capacity. Expiratory capacity meaning the total volume of air a person exhales after normal inspiration. Okay, so once we inspire or once we inhale the air, next immediately we are exhaling the air. Okay, so the total volume of air removed from the lungs after normal inspiration is called expiratory capacity. It is called expiratory capacity. Okay, so it includes the tidal volume can be calculated, the expiratory capacity can be calculated by adding the TV and ERV. So when we add tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume, we will get expiratory capacity. Understand, dear students? So now we completed three respiratory capacities. And the fourth capacity is total lungs capacity. In short, TLC. Okay, see, after the forceful inspiration, some amount of air is accommodated or staying inside the lungs. So this capacity of the lungs is called total lungs capacity. This capacity is called total lung capacity. Listen very carefully. The total amount of air which the lung can store or accommodate after a forceful inspiration is called total lungs capacity. Okay, so the normal total lungs capacity is 6000 ml. 6000 ml. Understand a few? And this total lungs capacity can be calculated by adding vital capacity and reverse volume. Okay, by adding vital capacity and residual volume. Okay, so hope you are understood this capacity. Then next capacity, the last capacity of our respiratory system is minute respiratory volume. Okay, minute respiratory volume. The amount of air that move inside the respiratory system per minute. Okay, the total amount of air moving inside the respiratory system per minute is called minute respiratory volume. Okay, it is called minute respiratory volume. So it can be calculated by by subtracting the normal tidal volume. Okay, the normal tidal volume. So the normal tidal volume into normal respiratory rate is called minute respiratory volume. Okay, see, the normal tidal volume is 500 ml and the normal respiratory rate is 12 times per minute. Okay, so this 500 into 12 we will get 6000. Okay, so the total minute respiratory volume is 6 liters. Okay, 6 liters. Okay, dear students, so hope you are understood this capacity also. So dear students, now we have completed totally 5 respiratory capacities. Totally 5 respiratory capacities. So all the capacities are very important for 2 mark question answer. Okay. Then next we are going to study about the next 2 mark questions. Very important 2 mark question. Dead space. Okay. Dead space meaning some inspired gas or air will not reach the alveoli. Okay, will not reach the alveoli. Alveoli is the gaseous exchanging area, gaseous exchanging site. So inside this alveoli only both carbon dioxide and oxygens are exchanging. Okay, so some inspired air will not reach this exchanging areas or will not reach the alveoli. But these gases are filled in the respiratory passage. Okay, and in this respiratory passage the gases will not exchange. So in the respiratory passage the gases will not exchange. So some amount of inspired air is not reaching the alveoli and they are staying inside this respiratory passage. So this space is called dead space. This space is called dead space. Hope you all understood. See, once again say, some amount of inhaled air is not reaching the gaseous exchange area, that means alveoli, and they are filled in the respiratory passage. In this respiratory passage there is no gases exchange. Okay, and this space is called dead space. Understand a few? So maximum this respiratory passage can store 150 milliliter air. Okay, understand a few? Then, dear students, now we have completed respiratory volume and respiratory capacities. Okay, so totally 10 2-mark questions are there. All these 10 2-mark questions are very important. Then now we are going to study about exchange of gases. The next topic is gaseous exchange. Already I told you, alveoli is acting as a gaseous exchange place. Understand a few? Understand? And from the alveoli the oxygen is entering inside the blood and the blood carrying the oxygen, and this oxygen is finally entering inside the tissue. And from the tissues the carbon dioxide is entering inside the blood, then the blood carrying this carbon dioxide to the alveoli. Understand a few? So both the carbon dioxide and oxygen is exchanging between the blood and tissue by a process. This process is called simple diffusion process. This process is called simple diffusion process, and the simple diffusion process is due to pressure. Okay, due to the pressure gradient of both oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, then here this pressure inside this pressure of this oxygen and carbon dioxide is mentioned as partial pressure. Okay, it mentioned as partial pressure. Here partial pressure meaning the pressure given or contributed by a single gas in a mixture of gas. Just to imagine, in a mixture of gas, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, like that, many gases are there. Okay, here partial pressure meaning the pressure provided by a or given by a single gas in a mixture of gas is called partial pressure. It's called partial pressure. Understand of you? Understand? Then, see, already I told you, oxygen is entering from the alveoli to the blood and blood carrying this oxygen to the tissues, and the carbon dioxide entering inside the blood from the tissues, and this blood carrying this carbon dioxide to the alveoli. From the alveoli, the carbon dioxide is eliminated to outside body, to the outside. Understand a few? And this carbon dioxide can diffuse 20 to 25 times higher than the oxygen molecules. Okay, understand? So that because the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is higher than the oxygen, partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is higher than the oxygen, so this carbon dioxide is diffusing 20 to 25 times higher than the oxygen. Understand a few? So dear students, hope you are understood this topic. Then next we are going to study about respiratory pigments. Okay, respiratory pigments. So two pigments are there in our respiratory system. The first pigment is called hemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin is a red color pigment present in the RBC of our blood. Actually, this hemoglobin is a conjugated protein. It's a conjugated protein, and it is made up of two substances. One is a iron substance and the second one is a protein substance. Okay, the iron part of the hemoglobin is called heme. Iron part of the hemoglobin is called heme, and the protein part of the hemoglobin is called globin, and this globin belongs to histone class. It's a colorless protein. Protein is a colorless protein, belongs to histone class. Understand a few? And the 4% of the hemoglobin molecule is made up of heme, and the remaining percentage is made up of globin. Understand a few? Understand? Then one more question: the molecular weight of the hemoglobin molecule. Okay, the total molecular weight of the hemoglobin molecule is 68,000 Dalton. 68,000 Dalton. Understand a few? And these hemoglobin molecules consist of 4 ions, and these ion atoms, and these 4 ion molecules are joining with the or combining with the oxygen molecules. Okay, understand? Then so now we completed the first respiratory pigment, hemoglobin. Then the next one is called methemoglobin. Methemoglobin meaning, see, actually in a normal hemoglobin molecule, the heme is in one condition. Okay, name of the condition is called ferrous condition. Actually in normal hemoglobin molecules, the heme is in ferrous condition. Suppose if this ferrous, instead of this ferrous heme molecule, ferric heme molecule is there, it is called methemoglobin. Okay, so already I told you heme is a iron component. Okay, iron component. This iron component is actually in normal hemoglobin, this iron component is in ferrous condition. If the iron component is in ferric condition, it is called methemoglobin. It is called methemoglobin. Understand a few? And this methemoglobin will not combine or bind with the oxygen molecule. Only hemoglobin molecules only binding with the oxygen molecule and carrying the oxygen molecule. Okay, here this methemoglobin will not bind with the oxygen. Understand a few? And normally the RBC molecules consist of only less than 1% of methemoglobin. Okay, so maximum high amount of hemoglobin molecule is present, but the amount of methemoglobin is less than 1%. Okay, the amount of methemoglobin in RBC, inside the RBC, is less than 1%. Understand a few, dear students? So dear students, hope you are understood today's class. So today we have completed two more question answers. Okay, many 2 more questions we have studied today. So first we studied about 4 important respiratory volumes. Then we studied about 5 important respiratory capacities. Okay, then next we studied about the dead space, and now we have completed 2 respiratory pigments, hemoglobin and methemoglobin. Okay, dear students, hope you all enjoyed today's class. Try to complete these respiratory volume and respiratory capacities today itself. Okay, we will meet in the next class. Thank you.